Hey everybody. One of the things that we know as the coronavirus has unfolded and impacted everything in our culture and society is that it's just made everything weird. For lack of a better term, like that's just what it is. All the things that felt normal suddenly feel hard or exhausting or taxing. And that includes things like relationships, personal conversation, even alone time, or how we interact with friends and family all suddenly feels just different and weird. Obviously that impacts churches too, and what we do and what we gather. And it's really just an invitation and a reminder for us, for something we already know, that what it means for us to be the church has very little to do with the physical building. It has to do with our orientation towards mission and engaging in God's work in the kingdom and to be Christ to the world around us, right? We know this. And yet the coronavirus has made all of that hard for us in many ways. What it also does for us though, along with the weirdness, is it creates an opportunity. It creates an opportunity for us to be the church and not to go to church, where we get to be the hands and feet of Jesus for those around us, especially as we have more freedom and opportunity to impact people, to gather, and also to do things like appreciate the value of a phone call or a written letter. It's an invitation for us not to be the publicly performing worship as much, and like the Acts 2 kind of church that engages in one another's lives and in homes and around meals. And in the midst of all of this, we're trying to figure out how we can safely, quickly, and in a way that loves our neighbor and protects the least of these gather again and create in-person experiences for a live worship setup. It's an invitation for us to still live into the mission and calling. One of the easiest ways to do that, honestly, is to just gather with other people for Sunday morning. We can't gather all together. We can't do that safely, and we're trying to figure out how we can do it in a phased process. But we know we can gather with others. We can gather with another family and worship and engage. We can watch a video. We can have conversation and dialogue. You can have food and fellowship. There's ways we can do all of that. And so as we roll this process out and as we live into what this new normal is, I want to encourage you to think about that, to think about the friends and family and people around you that you could gather with on a Sunday. So if it's not with your whole church family, well, who's a small group? Who are those that you're intimately connected with, that you can still have a sense of connection and purpose and mission together as we hear teaching and relevance and things that speak to our souls, remind us of who we are and the eternal truths that God tells us. And so as we live into that, I just want to give you that to think about as an encouragement and a challenge. How are we the church? How are you the church to the people around you? Who do you need to love? Who do you need to protect? Who do you need to advocate for? Who do you need to make space for as we gather and worship and live out our lives as disciples? Grace and peace, friends.